She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why. Wonders why.
hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on.
Hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
So the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake, all that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right, so we are in number 11, and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay, that's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, do you want a tour? We said, great. He's
Interesting.
got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got, well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide. And so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh.
And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of a voice. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Why did the Epstein Files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad to be here to make it clear that I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him. And then a year and a half after that, I met him, and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period. I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person. Okay?
Secretary Lutnik, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's not an indication that you yourself engaged in any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the fact that you believe that you misled the country and the Congress based on your earlier statements, suggesting that you cut off all contact when in fact you had not. When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
And you realize that, this visit took place after he'd been convicted, right? I mean, you made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions. Did you have a dinner in Epstein's New York City home in 2011?
No.
So the information that suggests that there was a dinner with Woody Allen and Woody Allen's spouse at the Epstein residence, that's there's nothing to that. Is that right?
I actually don't know what you're referring to. There was, look, I looked through the millions of documents for my name, just like everybody else. And what I found was there was a document that says that I had a meeting with him on in May, I think, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Not dinner or otherwise, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
All right. There's also a reference to the fact that Epstein had expressed an interest in meeting your nanny. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein ever met with your nanny?
No, I saw that. I had no idea what that was about. It had nothing to do with me.
No
as far as
interaction
I
at
know.
all between them.
No, as far as I know, no.
Would you, Mr. Secretary, be willing to ensure that the file is complete to share with this committee and the Congress your own records, any records you have that relate to Jeffrey Epstein?
I will surely talk about that. I hadn't thought about that. I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing.
Right. So, I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. And like, he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnik. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participate.
right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmail people. That's how he had money.
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when,
Mm-hmm.
they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But my story, that, I was one and done with the guy. He knows that story, but... That's it.
He would have been interested in that story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a story. It's just a one and done. That guy. Ugh.
And did Trump feel the same way about him?
I don't speak to him about these kind of, these are just distractions. You know, the thing about the president is I'm doing the most important thing that I see. And then right after we do that, he does 10 other things that are as, if not more important, that are not my thing.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And he is great at it. And sometimes he lets me stay. So like, he lets me stay for the Joint Chiefs of Staff come in. Right. I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Secretary Lutnik today was testifying on the Hill. He said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children. And that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnik right now? Or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnik's performance?
No, Secretary Lutnik remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
All right, can you all hear this? Testing. Okay, that's sort of working. It's okay. All right. Yeah, it's a fucking software. All right, let me go back to the mic that I like. Oh my god. Okay. Now can you hear me? Jesus Christ. All right. Welcome to Through Glass Darkly Radio. You're listening to us on United Public Radio. The intro song was Mark of the Doomslayer by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Jesus Christ. Yeah, StreamYard just said, fuck you today. So it had like this automatic microphone adjustment and it just turned it off. Okay. All right. Let's just go all the way back. Jesus Christ. Okay. So it is, I think, day 14 of this retarded fucking war. Okay. There's no other way to describe this. You basically have two real estate developers who went, and the Iranians said that they had 60% enriched uranium, and they conveniently, or just because they're dumb fucks, misinterpreted it, and now we have a war. So thanks to shark-eyed Jared Kushner and Witkoff, we have two well-heeled billionaires who will never ever send their kids or themselves to fight this war. Now they have Americans in harm's way. So like everything Jared Kushner touches turns to shit, basically. Also, going back to what I was saying, which none of you heard, about Lutnik, I'm going to keep showing that until that piece of shit is out of office. It is egregious that he is still in, but it sets the tone for this entire administration. Whatever came out on the Epstein Files, it's 10 times worse. And all this stuff is linked. The Epstein Files, the war, and even the UFO stuff. But we won't talk necessarily about that today. The reason it's linked is Lutnik's linked to him. Trump's linked to him. J.D. Vance is linked to Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is linked to Jeffrey Epstein. So the entire ruling class is totally compromised. Their interests are not our interests. Basically, they look at us as cash cows, and they just grind us into the dirt and extract money for stupid fucking wars like this. Okay? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Strait of Hormuz. First of all, everything the press is saying that they didn't have a plan for that is not true, right? They've looked at this for years. They have had all sorts of plans for it. Where you should take kind of be angry about it is if they knew those plans, why are we 2 fucking weeks into this war and they're able to close the Strait of Hormuz? When I analyzed this problem and I talked to naval officers, in fact, the naval officer I interviewed for that was a naval officer who survived the Cole bombing, the USS Cole bombing. He said it would take us about 2 weeks to clear the strait. But we had no assets in theater to even begin to do that. Like, that was a decision at the top. That was not a military decision. The military is doing the best under a strategy-less, I don't know, clusterfuck. There is no grand strategy in this whatsoever. It is the biggest mistake, strategic error, unforced strategic error the United States has made in its history. I can't think of a single time that we did something dumber than this. First of all, at first glance, okay? What's the upside? All you have to do is, what's the upside to this option for the United States? Israel, I get Israel. I understand why they're doing what they're doing, right? Like, I don't agree with it, but they get something out of this. For the United States, there is zero upside. None whatsoever. There's zero. What's the downside? Well, it could be the end of the American experiment. So, as a leader, if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, boss, I got something for you that's got zero upside and infinite downside. What do you think?" And Trump's like, "Let's do it." So I don't know who twisted his mind to go into this, but like, it's a no-brainer you don't do this. It was really, really fucking stupid. Okay? So let's go over some of what's going on. I believe there's like 13 service members who are dead already, who, you know, followed their orders to the commander-in-chief admirably. But for what? But for what? Meanwhile, Israel just evacuated like 10% of Lebanese territory, kicked 1 million people out of their homes. I mean, they're completely out of control. At the same time, you have people like Jonathan Greenblatt at the ADL trying to link Zionists, or trying to link the state of Israel with American Jews. Could you imagine a more like loathsome tactic? There are plenty of Jews, American Jews, who are not for this. And this piece of shit is trying to link the two. Just because you are against a genocidal regime called Israel doesn't mean that you're anti-Jewish. You might be anti-Zionist, but it doesn't mean you're anti-Jewish. So just stop. You're putting the lives of good people at risk. And we saw it with this synagogue bombing in Michigan, which, oh, by the way, the bombers, 4 of his brothers were killed in Israel's attack on Lebanon. I'm not excusing what he did, which is absolutely horrible. We don't want any synagogues in this country to be attacked. It's certainly anti-Semitic, for sure. But when you couple Israel with all Jews, you put them at risk. The ADL should be ashamed of itself. Because I want people to understand that. Right? This is Israel, the government of Israel. It's not even the people of Israel. It's the government of Israel doing this stuff. So just keep that in mind, okay? Because there's a lot of people who are getting pulled into this thing that are equally as horrified as we are. Meanwhile, we bombed 170 school children at the very beginning and then double tapped it. Probably because the Israelis intentionally gave us bad intelligence. I'm not saying they did, but that's like right up their alley. That's right up their alley. Just like bombing oil terminals in the beginning of the war, attacking 30 targets, which basically accelerates or reduces the amount of time that we have to solve problems, because the Iranians obviously are going to retaliate and destroy more oil infrastructure. So this whole thing is completely out of control. Here, I'm just trying to manage like multiple things here, and it's really slowing me down. Oh, wow. Canada lost 2 soldiers. They're in this stupid thing too. Yeah, I don't know what Trump thinks he's doing. I really don't. Oh, and by the way, this is the most censored war in my lifetime. I've never, like, that means, and that tells me one thing: it's going worse than we all think it's going. Okay, because we're not getting any news. We're not getting any information. That means it is going terribly. Okay, and I won't think otherwise until, you know. And then the story that the Iranians had 11 bombs in 2 weeks. I thought we destroyed their nuclear program in 2025, people, in June. That's what we were told. So we can't believe anything these people say. Zero. Like, guys, look, I'm not a Democrat. I just want to make that clear. I am the opposite. Okay? I haven't voted for a Democrat my entire life. But I know stupidity when I see it. And this is the mother of all stupidity. All right, so I have a few things that I was preparing. Where we go on this? This one is precious. This one is precious. I have to play this one. Just give me a chance to set this up. All right, here we go. I don't even know what this looks like on the screen. All right, just listen to this little gem. Or
citizens of Israel, my brothers and sisters, we are in historic days, days that will be written in the annals of Israel. In Operation Roaring Lion, our roar is growing and intensifying. We are pummeling the Islamic regime in Tehran. We are pummeling its emissaries, Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's unprecedented coordination between Israel and the U.S. and achieved substantial achievements that are changing the reality in the West Bank, in the Middle East and beyond. These achievements are increasing the status of Israel as a superpower more than ever. Through our power in opposition to the power of our enemies, this is what is ensuring our survival. Our threats come and go, but when we become a regional superpower, and in many respects, a global superpower, we have the power to push away threats and ensure our future.
a global superpower? Well, I guess if you're the president of the United States by default, because you have compromat on everyone in the government, then I guess you are, because since you're the parasite that rides on the back of the United States and basically controls its brain, then yeah, I guess that makes you a global super. Just the arrogance of that man. The absolute arrogance. He drags 310 million people into a war they don't want for objectives that they don't benefit from, that already at $39 trillion of debt they can't bear. Just the sheer arrogance. Let's see, what else? Let's see, we got some other stuff too. All right, I don't know if this is the case, okay? But there's been a lot of this going around for a while. Okay? There have been these persistent rumors that is this? I totally shared the wrong. Unreal. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. The order that it was presenting in my thing was the opposite of what the real order was. So there are these rumors that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead. I don't know. I don't know if they're true, but let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking at. Yeah, I'm sure. I guarantee all our news is censored. So is Australia's, I think. I mean, are you seeing anything we're not? Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through everything, and it's. You see heaps more than. So what's going on, Spider Bite? Because we don't see anything. I mean, I could tell you what I think is happening. Well, here's some more information that's come out. So anyway, there are rumors that he's been killed. Like there's been no confirmation, so I can't confirm or deny it. Okay. This is. Oh, are you kidding me? Sorry, I just to show you the next screen, I have to like. All right, so this is what the New York Times is telling us. Well, again, you guys can't see it. This is what the New York Times is telling us is going on. All right, so Israeli airstrikes hit a Beirut suburb where Hezbollah does not have control. That's like par for the course of the Israelis. An Iran-allied militia, Kataib Hezbollah, said it attacked the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. The militia's headquarters was struck, I guess, in response. The U.S. bombed Karg Island, the Iranian oil hub, and the Israeli military said it attacked a space research center in Tehran. They're going to run out. I mean, they're basically running out of targets, in my opinion, and it's not gonna make that much of a difference. So let's see. Okay, way more Americans are passed than we're told. All I know is there's like 140 casualties, 13 dead. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot more. I haven't looked at Indian news. I try to look at Al Jazeera, but I think that's censored too. Oh, geez. Oh, the McCasland. He was related to the UFO portfolio. He's missing. No one knows where he is. I don't know, man. This is a total shit show. All right, so I'm going to just show you some more stuff. Like we're not getting much, so I'm just grasping on what we do get. That's not what I want. All right. Hopefully you can hear it, but
One of the things that is happening, I think you see it all the time. Howard, you've seen it.
Older.
That Cuba is ready to fall. You know?
Cuba?
It looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this. Marco Rubio.
All right, so basically when we did our operation, which seemed to be successful, I never really had a strong opinion on it either way because I didn't spend a lot of time learning about it. I'm just a little concerned, who's running the place and how long are they going to be able to continue to run the place. So wasn't there a recent guy behind a podium prediction? Yeah, there was. There was a woman behind the podium announcing the Iraq war, I think, or Iran war. Internet ID is a closed loop now. I have not watched Predicted History, but I can always take a look. Yeah, Miami South. So you got Lutnik hovering over with this little puppet hands. Lindsey Graham. Let's see. All right, and then what else we got? You already talked a little bit about this piece of garbage. I'm just going to stop it here. Like, this person's a truly evil human being. And the reason, oops, let me redo that because obviously I didn't share it. Sorry, I'm like so off point today, guys.
The term anti-Semitism, right? It comes from Europe, comes from Austria, the late 1800s. The term was coined to say, I am not anti-Jewish. I'm an anti-Semite because the Semitic people are a different race. So I'm opposed to that race. And that's a science-based view, not a personal belief, as if it was grounded in some empirical truth. And of course, that culminated in the Shoah, and all these pseudoscience are exposed as frauds. And so you had an anti-faith-based hatred of Jews. You had an anti-race-based hatred of Jews. And today you have anti-Zionism, right, which is sort of a political hate of Jews. Well, I don't hate Jews for their faith or their race. I hate them for their state. And the same tropes, like blood libel. So, there was a time they said Jews killed Christian babies to make their matzah, which...
All right, what he's doing is absolutely indefensible and disgusting. He's trying to link all Jews to support of Israel. If you don't support Israel, you hate all Jews, which, first of all, that's a terrible precedent to set because it puts a target on the back of all Jews who want, and many of whom want nothing to do with this insanity. And two, it's just not simply true. I have a problem with the state of Israel, the government of Israel, pulling 310 million Americans into a war that doesn't benefit us at all. And that will result in a tremendous cost in blood and treasure. That's just unacceptable right now. None of us voted for this stuff. So that's kind of the crap that, that they're peddling. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to so I can actually see. My mom was all right. So Roger Claiborne is saying, when my mom was stationed in Adak, Alaska, I used to listen to Radio Moscow. It spilled the beans on a lot of things our media didn't cover. So probably our news was always censored. But yeah, 100%. It was always censored. We're just now seeing it. Okay, so that's absolutely false. The plan to open the strait is don't get it closed. No, there's a plan. There's definitely plans to open it, but they strategically failed. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, exactly. You're only anti-Semitic for not supporting child trafficking. All right, but here's what we're going to see in the next coming days and weeks. Imagine if you're a member of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and they just killed your kid. Okay. Or you're just a member of the community and they killed your kid. Are you going to want to overthrow your government? Or are you going to want to kill the motherfucker who killed your kid? That's what we did. I think it's up another $1 since I last showed it, but yeah, I just didn't have time to get a picture of it today. But I mean, Israel just invaded Lebanon, why not? Right? We just alerted 5,000 Marines to do God knows what. It sure as hell isn't going to be to seize the western coast of where the Strait of Hormuz is, because that's not nearly enough people to go and do that. So maybe it's just to do raids on Iranian ships or something. I don't know. It's just not big enough. So, and meanwhile, gas prices keep soaring. So let's see where that is now. Sorry, I got so many windows up that. Okay. Oh, and here's the next thing. BRICS News saying Israel informs U.S. that it is running critically low on ballistic missile interceptors. Semaphore reports. Didn't I all tell you that was going to happen? Let's see. Yeah, it's not about dual citizenship. It's like how many people have taken money from AIPAC. If your senator or congressperson took any money from AIPAC, they're compromised. They can't be trusted. Like they're gonna send your children to war. Oh, the other thing that they recently did is selective service registration. You used to have to do it when you were a male person between the ages, whatever that means, between 18 and 26. You were supposed to voluntarily sign up for the for selective service. In the NDAA for this year, so the National Defense Authorization Act, they slipped in a little provision that just does it for you now. So if you're age 18 to 26 and you're a male person, you're automatically registered for the draft. They just slipped that one in. So just so you're keeping track of what's going on. That doesn't mean there's a draft yet, but they're preparing for one. Yeah, I absolutely think if they try to go to a draft, well, I'm not gonna speculate. You could probably figure it out. My son's not going under any circumstance. He's just not for this stupid fucking thing. So we have more Marines going over there. I don't know if they think they're going to take Karg Island, but if they take Karg Island, they're going to be sitting ducks for ballistic missile attacks with no place for cover, no place to go. So oh yeah, what the world economy collapses. It just doesn't work at $200 a barrel. Well, I already served, so I mean, they ain't calling me back. I did my time. But it's always the young. Yeah, it's always the young that they pull in. It's just the way it is. So I've never hoped that the Republicans would lose the midterms in my lifetime. Like I hope they lose. I hope they get destroyed in the midterms. Oh yeah, there'll be food. Well, ripple effect is because there's not going to be as much fertilizer. You're going to lose. You're going to have 65% of fertilizer. So all the food prices are going to skyrocket, right? A third of everything you have is based on transportation costs. Yeah. You're going to see food go up. Stock markets dropped precipitously. These windows are not like cooperating today. So I did have something up where I could like try to look at that. Here we go. All right. I found a way to see it now. All right. So we've been at this since this thing doesn't work super well, but so 2 days before, well, let's just go to the day before. So the day before the invasion, the Dow was at 48,977. Right now it's at 46,558. Okay. S&P. Well, we'll just go month to month. On the month, a month ago, it's down about 6% or 3% from a month ago. The Dow's down about 6% from a month ago. The Nasdaq's down 2% from it, so it's not terrible. The VIX is pretty elevated right now. So the VIX just measures volatility. It's up 34% in the last month. Let me see if I can find something else. Brent crude. So oil prices are up 56% since a month ago. Okay, they're at $103.86, at least Brent crude oil, which is what they use in Europe. So everything's going and moving in the wrong direction. They are literally destroying trillions of dollars of American wealth in this war that makes no sense. Let's see. Sorry. The way that this thing is configured is making it difficult for me to see everything. Yep, so we got food. Yeah, it's young because they're easy to program. The last U.S. radar systems, they basically destroyed a lot of our bases. The Dow. But the Dow. Massoud destroyed the radars. Prescription drugs require petrol. Yeah. You're gonna have a lot of Americans who are in SSRIs and suddenly aren't taking their SSRIs and are going crazy. So you're just gonna have people tweaking in this country because there's too many people are on pharmaceuticals. See in Valhalla. Yeah, Netanyahu's trapped. Trump can always declare victory and leave. It'll be humiliating, but it's going to get far worse if he stays. Yeah, yep. Yeah, we still have some ways to go. Well, they're running out of interceptor missiles. Like I said they would. Remember I said they were going to run out if this thing went for like more than 2 weeks? They're running out. Yeah, I mean, retirement funds are not going to do well. Yeah, and they haven't even been using their best stuff. Spider-Bite writes, 1-ton warheads are on their way from Iran soon. Yeah, they haven't been using their best stuff. They've been using their worst stuff to attrit the interceptors. And then we ran out of interceptors. We pulled interceptors from South Korea, and the South Koreans are pissed. So Bean Lord's writing, it's beyond incompetence, it's malice. Evil perpetuates itself through people, though people disbelieve of its depth. AIBB being dead and them showing you, so it's Kino, or I guess cinema, where it shows the full specter of their power. Yeah. Plastics use oil, absolutely. So, again, I know someone who planned an earlier iteration of this, and it just gets worse. The longer this thing goes on, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So hopefully the Iranians, I mean, it's hard to tell somebody, yeah, I know, you killed my dad, and you killed like one of my, other members of my family, but we're cool. We're cool. Let's just simmer down. I don't know. I think it's just tied to stupidity. I really do. All right, 2 others targeted other. Yeah, they've been pummeling U.S. bases. We know that, but hope everyone is panicking while they go about their day to day, since things are. Yeah, everyone is packing. Yeah. By the way, buy tire. Like if you need tires, like for your like if your tires are worn or stuff like that, buy them now because they're going to get a lot more expensive. I was given that very discreet advice. So buy tires. I just did. I literally we were gonna need tire, like we needed tires. We were running a little on the edge, like I always do. So I just said, just get tires. Just get get the tires replaced. Let's get it before the dramatic price increase. Okay, sorry, I'm just going through. Yeah, and then he called Putin to save. I mean, it's just like, come on, man, come on. Yeah, well, it depends on how you define winning, right? We've absolutely annihilated their navy. They still have vessels left, but we destroyed a lot of their stuff. Now, the problem for us is we have no strategy. We don't know what the hell what constitutes victory. We have no idea because it wasn't communicated to us. It was poorly done too. So we don't know what the strategy is. So we don't know what victory looks like. The only thing the Iranians have to do to win is just survive. That's it. And then just destroy as much U.S. infrastructure in the region as possible. But I think we're done. I think we're done in this region. I think this is the last swan song. And Israel's going to have to fend for itself, as it should, because it started all this nonsense. And then just the propaganda. We've been at war for 47 years. Like, sharks have killed more people than the Iranians have in the last 47 years. And by the way, we killed plenty of them too. We shot down a passenger airliner in 1986 or 87, the USS Stark, and killed like 654 people, something like that. So it's not like it wasn't tit for tat. We were certainly killing a lot of Iranians at the same time. So this 47-year war, I didn't start the war, I just ended it. No, you started you spiked the global economy for no fucking reason, you retard. Anyway. All right, so Bean Lord is writing, if this is them trying to get the googly Magog war, they need the world against them. They need competitors vanquished and fighting each other or them. They worship death. They being our, Well, I'm a Catholic, so they're not the chosen ones anymore, according to Catholic theology. So I'll just leave it at that. What if my dad was? I probably. Well, I'm not going to say because I'd probably get this thing yanked. I would unalive myself. Yeah, well, I mean so Spider-Bite's saying Iran are laying out mines. Well, yeah, of course they are. Like, we foresaw that eventuality. So why aren't we clearing them? We have ships to clear them, but those ships weren't anywhere near this operation when it started, even though they had this massive armada. I don't know what these people were thinking. Yeah, everything's going up. Yep. I woke up 30 years ago. I lived low on the hog, but I can build a compound. Fair enough, Mark. If you think anyone is here to save you, you are naive. These people own Russia as well. Eschatological capture was before elite capture. Yep. Crazy Cow said, if my brother had started a war with Iran, I sure as hell wouldn't be hanging out at his house. Correct. Also, make sure to stay armed up. Yeah, I fail on that one. I need to get ready for that. No, this is going to be worse than Vietnam, people. This is bad. Like, they really fucked the global economy with this one. Yeah. Iran is a thousands of year old empire, like civilization. Yeah. Hey, Spiritual Ascension, good to see you. Oh boy, into our magnetic field. It's probably we're close on the verge of a magnetic field reversal. The problem for us is that people are still talking about the Epstein files. No, they should be still talking about it. We should not stop talking about it until people are held accountable. Yeah, this is a war Netanyahu wanted for 40 years. Yeah. I wonder if he's still alive. Oh, I want to show you something that's absolutely savage. I don't know why I didn't see it when I was going through my tabs. This is absolutely savage. Hold on. Okay. Does anyone who know who Anna Kasparian is? Oops. Where is this? Here we go. All right, nobody is winning this. This is a meaningless war for Israel. A lot of innocent death for no. Yes, end oppression. You're 100%. This is a war for Israel. This is all for Israel. There is absolutely no strategic, vital national interest that this satisfies the United States. Yeah, 1953. Yep, it started in 1953. Over 100 rockets have flown. Well, I mean, the Israelis invaded again. Stabs in the dark are what's happening in Iran and Tel Aviv. It's wild. They're showing anyone what's happening, yet people still be getting. No, but they're not, because the Iranians are sending out propaganda, and the Israelis are giving people 5 years in prison for sharing video. So we're not getting any picture of what the hell's going on. Yep, that's right. The oil, gas does have to start flowing or it's going to get real loco. Yeah, 100%. They say that in 1988, the U.S. shot down an Iranian passenger plane, saying eye for eye in December the year. Yep. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're talking about the one that the USS Stark shot down and killed 650 some Iranians. Yeah, so we killed plenty. So this like, it's a, we're just ending a 40. It's just like, it's so stupid. And none of us are buying this shit anymore. Because it's so dumb. Yeah, the contract to Libya. No, this is worse. This would be far worse than San Vietnam. Just look at a map of Iran. It's 3.8 times the size of Iraq, and it is just like a nightmare. Oh, Israel's biggest radar in the north was taken out, so they see no incoming. I feel bad for individual Israeli citizens, but I don't feel bad for the Israeli government. They brought this on themselves. Yeah, Lindsey Graham is a drunk with an identity crisis. Barry Gamble. Agree. Oh, Netanyahu's alive? I have no idea. Oh yeah. Let me get through these comments, and I'll show you what Anna is based. I'll tell you, she is based. I don't think I think Pearl Davis probably destroyed her, but she's coming around. Trust me, you'll see. Everybody's shouting out to Kurt Metzger, but he's not. Is he on? If he's on, I'll bring him on, but I don't see him. Gosh, I mean, she was. I mean, she is liberal, but she's right on some of this stuff. Tel Aviv is wiped out. Not yet, but it's getting there. Yeah, they're not showing anyone what's happening, and people are still throwing out their assumptions. I know, but we're just trying to figure out what's going on. So what do you think is the next play? Aliens show up, alien psyops, so natural false flag in the United States to get the American people on board. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you in Valhalla. Highly recommend it if your dog just died. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's a good one. Trump superpower is exposing what's going on. This whole thing feels like a psyop, so that MFers who have been asleep their whole lives will finally wake up. Tel Aviv is so Bean Lord Tel Aviv is toast, fire stock, Epstein class of superior control methods beyond big dumb bombs. They have literal soul grape tech in their back pocket, like the wizards of old. Iran isn't a giant desert. It's a lot of mountains and cities. Yep. It's like a mountainous nightmare. I don't think they have nukes. I don't know where BB is. Well, no, U.S. could win a ground war. It would just take, you'd have to funnel in 1 million men, and we would be there for 50 years afterwards. It would be like a World War II style situation. It would be extremely bloody. Oh, the predictive history guy is not. Yeah, Professor Jang. Yeah, he's not a professor. He has a Bachelor of Arts from Yale. I have more degrees than he does. That's so maybe I should call myself Professor Hazlett. Everyone's releasing their reserves, right? Yeah, they're burning through their reserves. I think Anna's awesome. I'll show you in a second. Problem is the U.S. elected Goy don't care about U.S. citizens. So, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, we're already running out. That's why we're pulling stuff from South Korea. It's Professor Hazlett, Doctor of Love. Exactly. You should tell my wife that. All right. So this is just savage. This is absolutely savage. Okay? I'm just going to. So Anna Kasparian says, so did they kill Netanyahu or not? And of course, this David Wiseman, no, you putz, which I'm sure you hope for that. And she just responds, I absolutely do. Oh, man. It's just so based. So based. Let's see. All right, I just lost. There we go. Magister, yes. You could call me Magister, maybe. Roger Claiborne said, just got to know you are more powerful than all the fools and shift it where you want. Spiritual ascension. Being Lord, predictive history is just a dude with a rocket launcher trying to make a new religion. Red team, good agitprop, but his analysis cuts through all the emotional winging on site. Yeah. Okay, so Nathaniel Gillis just discovered new Collins Elite Research. Cash, he said, this is scary, man. Will they shift the timelines when it comes to war with China? We shall see. But it's all information. It's up to you to discern, no pun intended. Now that Zog is occupied with Iran, the tides are favorable in April and May, and then the Future Forecasting Group looked at Taiwan in 2049 and saw a Chinese flag flying. So, okay, we are transporting these third world desert. Yeah, it's all cancer. Yeah. She is savage when it comes to Zionists. Can't believe anyone's assuming Netanyahu ain't been hiding out in some big ass underground. Probably. Yeah, Australia is going to get hit pretty bad. The U.S. at least has. We didn't even fill up this. We didn't even refill the strategic petroleum reserve that the Biden administration drew down. That's how stupid this administration is. And it's just saying that because it divides Republicans. She's fine with war when Democrats. Look. If you're still focusing on left and right, look, I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted against Kamala Harris because she was an idiot and she wanted war with Russia. And I was like, no. I didn't vote because I thought Trump was smart. I just voted because he was the least bad option. And even now, we're at war with Iran, which is an absolute disaster, but at least we're not at war with Russia. That would be 10 times worse. Yeah, there were a few Israeli soldiers who graped some Palestinians with like a taser or something. Totally fine. Charges dismissed. Totally fine. No problem. I don't know why this is our putative ally. I mean, our greatest ally also shot a Lebanese Catholic priest. You know, I don't know why we are allied with these people. Like they're Zionists are basically modern Nazis. That's what they are. That's what they are. And again, Zionists are not Jews. There are some Christian Zionists too. Okay? So this effort to couple the two is really damaging and stupid. Yeah, they more than bought us. They compromise. They put our entire elite under a compromise scheme, which is why we're getting into these really stupid, insane wars for absolutely no reason. So we kind of know what they're going to use these Marines for, which is probably just raiding Iranian ships and stuff like that. Maybe raiding Iranian missile batteries at various shores, but they sure as heck ain't going to take any land. All right, I'm not in the left-right bubble, but Anna is just a grifter, not bait. All I know is what I just showed you was savage. The Dark Ones want complete separation from Christianity and Muslims. It's all part of their ongoing. Yeah, this is all just a show. Yeah, maybe, but there's no reason we should be at war right now with Iran. It is an absolute waste of energy, bandwidth, treasure, and lives. I think he worked for all of them, Spider-Bite. Spider-Bite writes, Epstein worked for Mossad. I think he worked for all of them, or they all worked for him. He was part of a transnational kind of organization. The Brits put them there because the Rothschilds bankrolled the Suez Canal. That's right. But it's the banking families who fund this and fund. Yeah, the Rothschilds also funded the Nazis. That's correct. All right, dude, this is way worse than a stun gun grape, broken rigs, torn. Yeah, it was bad. I didn't mean to minimize it. It was egregious. It was absolutely egregious. It's basically male grape. All right, I see the next stage of reality goes full schizo woo, parapsychology level magic to command the herd to their own destruction. Maybe. Yeah, so I'm just hoping that Trump somehow pulls some sort of a ceasefire out of his ass. I just pray that happens, because this is insanity. Yes, officials were bought by AIPAC money, which is probably illegal because AIPAC's tied to a foreign power. Unbelievable. I mean, that's totally against the Geneva Convention, obviously. But apparently our greatest ally doesn't have to follow that. Okay. I don't think Trump knows what he's doing, Spiritual Ascension. I think he's pretty incompetent on this stuff. Now, Jared once said as much as Netanyahu, that's for sure. Iranian infidel regime are getting their cheeks clapped bigly. Sure. And then what? And then what? What's next? They still got the Strait of Hormuz blocked. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I think Trump tried to reach out to him, and they just like, no, we're not talking to you. Yep, it's all. Yeah, I think Israel realized that they were losing their compromise because it was going to be exposed, so they're forcing this war before it's. Well, they still have it. The only end. So, End Depression is saying the only end to this hellish war is if the Iranians start the large protest against their own government. It's starting up now. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. Like the argument that we have to keep bombing so that there's a civil war in Iran is absurd. I like when somebody starts bombing you, you rally to the flag. I mean that's the way it always goes, and it's the same argument of the beatings will continue until morale improves. You're not going to improve their morale by bombing them. You're just going to piss them off and have them side with the regime. So chosen is going to chosen as long as you think they are. Where in the first place, the only good thing about it is are all on different stuff, self-reliant hubs of people in the West post collapse. I really hope it doesn't collapse. Trump wants to go down in history as a major player before he dies, and unfortunately, he will take us down to do it. By the way, the Future Forecasting Group just when it did a forecasting to see like who was going to be president in 2030, and Trump was gone. Like they saw some traumatic event for the country, and it looked like Vance was president before the end of this Trump term. So the interpretation is that Trump doesn't survive for whatever reason. It could just be natural death from natural causes or whatever. Yeah, Ron just said no. Yep. I think almost all of them. Right? But there's different levels of compromise, right? The child grape stuff is more senior people, but the APAC stuff is just kind of the run-of-the-mill people. Like there are very few people who aren't getting APAC funding. It might be like 7 people or something really absurdly small. Oh yeah, they're feeling the economic heat. The Russians aren't. The Russians are like, give me the money. Like they're making money hand over fist now because of this. Yeah. He's just yeah. There are whole cities in Iran who support their current government. Yeah, 100%. This is not black and white. Yeah, did you all see that book, The King of the Jews, that was written in 1979 with the main character is I.C. Trumpelman. It's just kind of, he's like a con man. It's a real book. Look it up. It's called King of the Jews. And it's written by Leslie Epstein. I shit you not. It is real. It's absolutely real. All right. So without low-cost drone defense, insurgents win. $300 is Iran's strategy. The real fun begins when Trump restricts oil export. Yeah, he's going to have to do that, and the rest of the world is going to descend into anarchy. This conflict alone is worth saving them. No, it's not. Do we save women and children of Iran by killing 170 of them? This conflict is not worth it. It's not. And it's not worth that alone. Just ask any GWAT veteran, right? Most of them would tell you that the last 2 decades of military adventurism did absolutely nothing good for the United States other than result in suicides or unaliving, deaths, like horrific maimings, and the increase in the national debt. Yeah, this is Epstein. This is literally Epstein's war. But I'm not convinced that Epstein was just tied to Mossad. I think he was also tied to CIA and MI6 for sure, because Maxwell had an MI6 connection and a Mossad connection. So, I think Epstein was part of a supranational structure of government that's opaque to us. Did they really burn the red heifer in July? Unreal. Yeah, again, the remote viewers saw that too, Spiritual Ascension. I'm not going to say it for obvious reasons. I'm not saying that out loud either. I don't want to have some people show up at my, because that does happen. If you make any sort of threat, veiled or otherwise, about that particular individual, the Secret Service will show up at your house. And I know that because I had a soldier when I was in the Army who put the White House on his leave form. And someone asked him why he had it on his leave form, and he made a statement. And as a joke, but he had to be interviewed by the Secret Service and then was not allowed for the rest of his life within a mile of the White House. And I think he can't vote anymore. So it's like serious. You can't say that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, too many elites? No, elites aren't losing their job to AGI because they have assets. People who have assets are going to be fine. It's the people who don't have assets and who have a 9-to-5 job that are going to get creamed. So make sure you have assets. Make sure that you're able to live without a job because it's going to get scary. Yeah, green pill theory. Yep, that's correct. The temple has not been rebuilt yet. But imagine if the Israelis are using it as an excuse to get the Iranians to destroy it so they can rebuild it. Oh, there was no sacrifice of heifers? I don't know. There's so much disinformation that who knows? How do you know that? Woo Rider DG is saying there are way more people in Iran who want this regime gone. There's plenty of Iranian dissidents in the United States who want the regime gone. But in Iran, I don't think it's black and white. And again, everything that they tell us here, is suspect because they literally lie to us about everything. So Russia produces all its own food, weapons, and products, so they are situated to come out on top. Yeah, that's true. Any chance of global moneyed interests blank stepping in to force Trump to no? Billionaires start losing too much money, things happen. Billionaires are the reason this thing is happening. Like people like Bill Ackman, right? Like those are the people who wanted this. Oh, and then you have like Larry Ellison and his little Nepo baby, David Ellison, soon to take over CNN. Did you hear Hegseth said, your questions will be better when David Ellison takes over? Oh, that's comforting. That's really comforting, Hegseth. We're going to get more censorship because that piece of shit is in charge. Okay, good. Good to know. America's made a big mistake. Iran has other... Yeah, I know. This is borderline World War III. Let's go and save Iranian women and children. Okay, reality is manufactured to a very large extent, so much of it that it makes people go back to their simulation pods because there's comfort in pretending the know is worth more than facing the unknowable. This is a way for the U.S. to get rid of all the old weapons instead of collecting dust. We can't even make new weapons because they take too long to produce. They all require rare earth metals, which we have to buy from China. This is not a way to expend all the weapons that we have. There is no upside in this war whatsoever. None. Yeah, that's right. The puppet masters are the problem. Economy collapses, Russia will be fine, but the U.S. and the rest of the world will starve and collapse because we rely on other countries. Maybe. We all love Trumpstein and his handlers. We are all the good guy. Nothing to see, Palantir. Oh my God. Oh no, he lost his voting. Okay. Oh my God. How about Israel just does it? There's no reason, there's no national interest for us to do any of this nonsense. The ultimate asset is power. We have, as Bean Lord is saying, we have none. They have it all. Too much wanting a piece of the panopticon to harvest loose from despair. Too many princelings across the world we have to go. Anyone out there respewing the media news now? Yeah, needs to wake up. Yep. Why else do you think Iran shut off the internet? Not because they were unaliving folks, but also so people around can't speak the truth about what's going on. Okay. I mean, the Israelis are doing the same thing. Does that mean there's going to be a civil war in Israel? I mean, come on. You try to look at it from your own perspective and put yourself in that situation. If some foreign country was bombing you, and killing your children, you're not going to side with them. Watch Meet the Ellisons. Do not eat before. Oh my God. Appreciate the absurdity. Iran should make the Epstein docs part of their peace terms. Actually, they should. Never would have thought you were. No, I'm definitely not a liberal. I am not a liberal. I am an anti retarded wars person. I'm definitely not a liberal. Trust me. I did serve, right? I did spend time in the army as a tank commander. So I am definitely. I just don't want Americans wasting their lives on stuff that doesn't help. Once from the old, unfortunately, everything starts to make sense. Why are you all acting like reviewers and astrologers didn't predict all of these? Yeah, my team over at Future Forecasting definitely predicted the Iran thing and the Maduro thing. So, serious question: where would USA and the world be right now? Oh, I didn't say. I didn't at the very beginning. I explicitly said I still wouldn't have changed my vote because Kamala we'd be at war with Russia, which would be even worse. Why are you acting like that username is okay? Well, I don't know what username, but Trump made an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant. War's father and king of all. God is war. Heraclitus, sorry. The Strangers, my very own tank. Cool song. The Stranglers, sorry. I need to check that out. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with it, but I can't play it obviously because I would get killed. So Justin dropping his own bombs, and I'm not talking about winning in your pants. Thank you, Kerp. That is a toxic patriarchal mindset there, bud. I don't know who you're referring to, but at what point does the war stop being in Israel's national interest? Do you think Israel miscalculated, underestimated Iran, or do you think this war? No, I think they wildly miscalculated. The upside is you lose, sir. They built some badass dumbs with hybrid homunculi manning the helms of alien tech Doritos. Cog next to the Osiris in the middle of the country. Yeah. So on the question of did Israel miscalculate? Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. I think they had a similar fantasy that the U.S. military was the greatest in the world, which we are, but I think they had delusions that even we didn't have ourselves. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. I don't think you're invisible now. This is the first comment I've seen from you. So if you've been making comments, that just means YouTube's been censoring them for whatever random reason. Also, if you think you're subscribed, thank you first for being a subscriber, but just double check because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people randomly. It happens all the time. Usually people find out on this stream when they try to comment because you can only comment if you're a subscriber, and they'll find out that they've been unsubscribed for no reason of their own. So yeah, exactly. Our greatest ally does have delusions from time to time. Thinking in left-right paradigms, the lethal brain capture the weaker mind. It's a nice way for me saying, shut app, boomer, woo riders, I want the smoke. Yeah, they're just left, right, same, like both wings on the same bird. If Iran holds the oil gas hostage too long, it will be get quite a few countries pissed off. They don't care about the optics. They just have to survive. That's it. They don't care about the optics at this point. Right? Some of the Iranians are like happy that there's war here because like they want us to send troops so that they can kill them. So anyway. Yeah, they are letting ships through, but they're only letting ships for like Russia and China through. They're not letting U.S. ships through. Yep, any ships with Dinam and Yuan and Chinese, etc. vessels. Yep, that's right. Man, this stream's going fast, even though I had a really late start. Okay, so Roger's saying lots of comments are getting hidden. Some from him and some between us in chat. I think AI is experimenting new censorship techniques. I wonder what the flavor of those comments are. I'd be very curious to see what they are, because I have no idea. Let me see how this thing's doing. I haven't even looked at that yet. Come on. I think we're doing okay. Not great, not terrible. Okay. We're going to experiment with one thing. We'll see. All right. What am I doing? All right. Anyway. Bean Lord saying, I don't even comment on YouTube videos anymore. I've been blackballed. I just post link and schizo posts in my small community on Telegram, dropping major thought crimes that are definitely not kosher. Waiting for Ben Shapiro to join the Marines. Yeah, I would love to see Ben Shapiro and who's that piece of shit who always... Mark Levine. I would love to see those two enlist. If you think you're not on the list, you are on the list to go on the list. Yeah, I'm sure. Off topic, what are your thoughts on the water situation in the Southwest? I mean, remote viewing basically has said they're going to have a water crisis. It's bad. It's definitely bad. So Bean Lord said, one of my remote viewer people recommended your channel. It's a great find. Kurt Part 2 will have my side split in like Kurt episode. Yeah, I bet you if I asked him on again, he'd come on. I don't want to like abuse the friendship. But yeah, he's a great dude. I love that dude. Our news is saying 2,200 troops to walk in. I've seen that, but I've also seen 5,000. Yeah. The Night Stalker is saying, don't blame incompetence on what can be attributed to ritual. That's fair. Oh, God. Hello. Yeah, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, 31st MU. Yeah, you need water to cool down data centers in hot areas. Where's Kerp? Oh, well, somebody just mentioned Kerp. You guys got to stop doing that because it makes me think Kerp's on the stream, and he's definitely not on the stream. America sending troops in. Yeah, we got that. We know that. Okay, maybe if I phrase it different. Hegseth wanting an apocalypse was central to, that guy is that guy is like the definition of amateur hour. He really is. Just like every time just some of the word salad stuff that comes out of his mouth is really cringe. The only reason he is a Secretary of Defense is that he's a very handsome man. That's it. That's his only qualification. But he is he's probably, I thought the last guy, I thought Austin was a moron, But this guy, I have to say, he's worse. And that's really bad. No, he's not. The last Secretary of Defense was really bad. Okay. Okay, so will the Grays Nordic step in? No, they never do. They never do. Is it Grok approved yet that Larry? Yes. Larry Silverstein just bought U.S. Bank Tower in L.A. Yeah, it's yeah. So if you were in L.A., avoid the U.S. Bank Tower. Okay, like don't go inside it. Larry Silverstein is the guy who bought the insurance on Tower 7. So let's see. Find the original. I'm not the fan of stupid wars, guys. I click on, well, in the beginning, very early on, I was skipping a lot because I wasn't. But in the last hour, I've clicked on every one that comes up, at least that I see. Can we set up? Yeah, here's the problem with Polymarket. Like Trump's, I think, family owns part of it. So I'm not touching that grift. That's a definite grift because they have inside information where they can make money. Oh boy. Let's just hope we get through this unscathed. Let's hope we get through it safely. But hope for this one. Yeah, I don't think they'll be helping. All right, let's see how we're doing. All right, I guess we're doing okay. We're not doing great, but doing okay. Haven't crossed 1,000 yet, but let's see. Yeah, I'm still working nonstop. Like this weekend, I've like caught up just building like my financial models for this business. But yeah, it's been brutal. I'm getting tired, and then it doesn't help that like watching all my money evaporate in this mess. I'm not going to say how much that I've lost on paper, but it's about, it would take me about half a year to replace if I just did salaried work. Like it's that bad. It's like 6 months of income if I were to sell. Yeah, I can't believe Silverstein still lives too. Yeah, exactly. It's all that beef jerky. Do we have military? I doubt it. I doubt it. I think you're just seeing what we have. Yes and no. They're like tactically. So one Rivian is saying, I haven't read your master's thesis regarding Iran, but I'm assuming this is the way that you would have proposed to disarm Iran. Yes, but strategically, there's two things this administration did that they should have never done. One, Israel was never supposed to be part of it. And when you saw they started attacking oil infrastructure, that's a good reason because they're just wild. And they do things that like make our strategic situation worse. And then the second thing was that we needed to be very clear to the Iranians that we were only focused on their nuclear program. As soon as we eliminated it, that was our only beef. whereas this administration immediately killed their leadership. When you make it existential, it's the absolute worst thing you can possibly do, and that's what this administration did. So the Iranians have no incentive to come to the table for anything at all. Yeah, our leaders are not for us at all. None of them. They've lied to us forever. Trump did it. Yeah, he did. Nick, he absolutely did. Trump just said U.S. has more oil and gas than it needs. Yeah, well, that's great. Good for him. It's still, oil is still a global market, so the price of oil is still going to skyrocket. Yeah, they killed all the Iranian leaders except the son. Funny, yeah, they killed the guy's father, and now they want him to come to the table and say, "Oh shucks, okay." They're just not very strategic minded. But and also my plan was to have the assets to clear the Strait of Hormuz at the very beginning, which they obviously still don't have. So if they had taken my advice, we would not be in this situation right now. And by the way, I would have even started this operation because we had destroyed their nuclear assets, according to Trump, in June, right? Right. Yeah, I know. They were talking to Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. So you got not the B team, but you have the Q team as our diplomats. And they just sent them to Russia now too. This is like nepotism at its finest, this administration. It's all about nepotism. And it's obvious. It's why everything is insane. The fact that America is tolerating these desert folks is a major problem. You need to separate them completely from policy. And I argue, I think we shouldn't be allies with Israel. They should just be. I don't have anything to do with them. Just let them. They're on their own. Nothing against them. Just fight your own wars. What about Stargates? Also, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Stargates. That was not a problem that came up when I was doing my master's thesis. The Jawas. The Sand People. Because Jawas were different from the Sand People. In Star Wars, that is, for people who don't catch the reference. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more people on right now, but the overall totals aren't more than normal, which is weird. I don't know what's going on. All right, thoughts on the Kurds and them going into Iran? They already told Trump, we don't have anything to do with your crazy war. I mean, they're not dumb. Problem is, we need citizen arrest. Just about it. Yeah. Because there is no justice. There's obviously no justice. But if you're off on your taxes by $40, they come after you. It's just, I don't know how long people put up with this. Because it's not okay anymore. It's just not. It's not. It's absolutely not okay. Anyway, I get lots of random stuff that I don't need to see. Okay, that. Huh. All right, in a random X post, I heard about deployment of U.S. TR-3Bs to defend Israel from Iran. That's probably AI. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely shadow banned, for sure. For sure. Oh, what was that? Oh, looking at the wrong thing. Oops. Yeah, if you're shadow banned, you know you're doing something right. Yeah, I'm definitely shadow banned. It's crazy how many BS causes have massive protests in America, but nothing for World War III. That's because, notice, as soon as the Trump administration took down USAID, all protests, or most protests in the U.S. stopped. So they were always astroturfed. Like, the U.S. has used and screwed the Kurds. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, that's true. I've seen you streaming on X. Keep on grinding. Thank you. I'm rolling with boner dice. Trump is retarded enough to think he can tell the Stargate Dorito tech people what to do. Breakaway is just that. That tech is within the Byzantine bureaucracy. Yeah, probably. Oh yeah. I think Grok said he probably was gone. Who knows? I just hear more information coming out of Iran than there is out of Israel. Yeah. I don't know what Baltimore Ravens did, but it's not built that way. Do you think the mind control programs are keeping the people from uprising? No, they're just not. They're not starving yet. They're not like getting destroyed on like by inflation yet. That'll come. That'll come if it happens. Right? If they don't solve this thing soon, that could be a consequence. The fact that they won't show anywhere what's going on, in Iran and Tel Aviv isn't sus. Yeah, it just means it's going badly. That's my takeaway. Like, if they're not showing you anything, that means it's going horrifically badly. Let's see. See, I as well am shadow grown. That's an interesting statement. All right. They don't need the tax money. They just need to make sure you don't have any. Yep. And if you're going somewhere, you'll end up like that one IBM Cold Fusion guy or an island somewhere back a bait. I don't know. Oh, well, you see Lutnik's sons made a killing on it? Unreal. Got lots of unique theories about ether and like, interesting. All right, looks like time is up, folks. So anyway, have a great rest of your weekend. Make sure you stock up on food and supplies because this is not ending anytime soon. Because we don't exactly have adults in the White House right now. It's like amateur hour. I don't know if he's congratulated for moving it. Yeah, you can't talk about Iran without talking about Epstein, and no one with a career is bringing up Jeff at work. Yep. All right, have a great weekend, everyone.
She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why.